Hi everyone, I am Queen Del Carmen, a second year B.Ed student, and for today's lesson is all about primitive communism and egalitarian society. Primitive communism, it refers to the collective rights of basic resources, the absence of hereditary status or authoritarian rule, and the egalitarian relationship that precedes exploitation and economic stratification in human history. When we call primitive communism, it is a way of describing the gift economies of hunter-gatherers throughout the history, where resources and property are hunted and gathered, are shared with all the members of the group in accordance with individual needs. So here is the communism. Communism is a philosophical, social, political, and economic ideology and a movement whose ultimate goal is the establishment of a communist society, namely a socio-economic order structure upon the ideas of common ownership of the means of production and the absence of social classes, money, and the state. So, communism, it is a political theory derived from Karl Marx, advocating class war and leading to a society in which all property is publicly owned and each person works and is paid according to their abilities and also according to their needs. So these are the characteristics of primitive communism. First is full democracy. This is because all of the members of the society had to make decisions to arrive at the solution. Second is lack of specialization. In communal society, people are supposed to do all jobs together, and the jobs that include tool making, gathering fruits, preparing shelter, and hunting. Next is the absence of exploitation. In communal society, neither exploiters or neither they exploited. Next is the shifting cultivation, means that in the same plot of land are not cultivated for long. Communal society move from one plot to another. Next is the hunting and gathering. In communal society, they just hunt animals and gather plants as their means of survival. They don't have an economic surplus. All their production was for the keeping members of the society alive on daily basis. And also, in communal society, they have a low level of development. This is because there was no surplus, they don't have an asset or resources to earn an income. And in communal society, there was no private ownership because they have just the means of production such as land, tools, weapons belong to the community. Lastly is the shared property. In communal society, there was no concept of ownership beyond individuals' possession because the tribe shares everything in order to ensure their survivals. So here is the evolution of primitive communism. The rise of social class society has changed the human history. The communal ways of organizing society have since changed. Humans have moved from a society of equality and communal living to one characterized by oppression and exploitation. The agricultural revolution around the world have transformed most of the hunters, gatherers to farmers. The needs of political structure to advance the affair of the communities has brought about a significant change to communal leadership and decision making. Here is the theory of primitive communism by Karl Marx. Marx's initial drive to create the basic tenets of communism began in the middle of the 19th century as he observed the existing capitalist system being used as a tool by the bourgeoisie to enslave the working class or the proletariat. Marx believed that the capitalism was an antique system that fed on the working class and increased the gap between the rich and the poor. Communism was the concept put forward by Karl Marx. He proposed that the traditional hunters, gatherers were based on the egalitarian social relations and common ownership. The first stage is usually called the primitive communism. The primitive communism stage most likely began soon after the dawn of the humanity itself. As the stage where the fire is developed, the communal living therefore becomes more convenient. In primitive communism, societies tend to be very small, consisting of the maximum of a few hundred members of the society, and the size being dependent upon the environment. Karl Heinrich Marx was a German philosopher, economist, historian, sociologist, political theorist, journalist, and socialist revolutionary. His best known titles are the Communist Manifesto. The Communist Manifesto, published in 1848 and written with Friedrich Engels, sought to outline the basic faults of capitalism and educate readers on the principles of communism. Marx's solution to the perceived problem of the free market societies. The manifesto contained 10 steps, known as the 10 planks, were intended as the test to determine if a society had successfully become communist state. This stage ends with the development of private property, especially with the development of large-scale agriculture. These in turn produce productive property such as cattle and slaves. So here is the social class in communism. The members of the Communist Party are supposed to make the working class realize that the capitalists exploit them and get them to revolt. Members of the Communist Party have to convince the people of the ideal communist states and have to fight against the capitalists with all the possible means. Marx knew that the ideal state couldn't be created in just one day. According to communist theory, there are two main social classes. First is the working class, consisting the workmen and the laborers who are exploited by their capitalist bosses. Then there is the bourgeoisie, the capitalists. They should be extinguished or educated. In the idea of communist society, there are no longer classes anymore. Everybody works not for money but to be a useful member of a society. So here is the perceived benefits of communism. Theoretically, a communist society promotes the equality of all people. Classes do not exist in a communist system, and therefore all citizens are equal. Communist ideology seeks to eliminate child labor and encourage education for everyone. Each child entitled to an education under communist principle. Communism supports lack of competition, which originates within its belief in equality for everyone. While communism does not support private industry, it does support the rule of the worker. Under the communist system, every member of the society is given a job. The government owns all the production, can therefore employ each member of society. In the communist system, all citizens are provided work. The egalitarian society. Egalitarian society is one where every person is entitled to equal rights, receive equal treatment and opportunities. These societies comprise of groups of people who agree to live together in these societies as egalitarianism as one of their core values. So here is the origin of the egalitarian society. Egalitarianism or the equalitarianism is a school that thoughts that prioritize equality for all people. According to the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy, egalitarian doctrines maintain that all humans are equal in fundamental worth of social status. And according to the Merriam-Webster dictionary, the term has two distinct definitions in modern English, either as a political doctrine that all people should be treated as equals and have the same political, economic, social, and civil rights, or as of a social philosophy advocating the removal of economic inequalities among people. economic egalitarianism, or the decentralization of power. Some sources define egalitarianism as the point of view that equality reflects the natural states of humanity. So here is the economic features of egalitarian society. First economic feature is pastoralism. It refers to owning domesticated animals for production, transportation, or slaughter, as well as successfully stealing horses and maintaining a herd of livestock. Next is the generosity. It refers to displaying kindness through throwing feasts, giving gifts, self-search depreciation, providing voluntary assistance in economic activities. So next economic features is technology. It refers to demonstrating a proficiency and specialized manufacturing of tools or functional products such as arrow, craft tools, canas, and etc. Next is the hunting. Hunting refers to demonstrate competence in hunting by reliably providing protein from a wild game distribution. Next is the exchange. Exchange refers to maintaining exchange relationship with friends or allies, formal gifts, giving between families, and maintaining debt stored through property loans and success in trading. Next economic feature is wealth. Wealth refers to culturally specific luxury goods, such as rare or liquidable assets to travel or trade, owning a high quality, owning symbolically or economically valued item. Next is the horticulture, refers to a success of growing food. Horticulture producing surplus or staple crops consistently, yielding goods harvest, skills in tree felling, and maintaining productivity in cultivation. Those are the some economic features of egalitarian society. These are the political features in egalitarian society. First is the geographic knowledge. It refers to the knowing of homeland well, being able to predict or identify resources, such as traveling of foreign land, pioneering new territory, processing knowledge of the outside world, maintaining or establishing intergroup political relations. Next is the kinship marriage. It refers to maintaining kin's alliances, the ability to influence and organize distance, maintaining marriages in the interest of kinship group, and having a many wives. Next is the oratory skills. It refers to being able to organize a large group of individuals under a common goal. It is the ability to clearly and eloquently communicate to a crowd. Next is the dispute settlement. It refers to the ability to resolve conflicts, including miming and comedy to displace tension, mediating fair discourse between individuals. Next is the warfare, refers to being a natural leader in a battle. In this, displaying a courage on the battlefield, demonstrating a willingness to go to a war and return it alive. These are the ritual features of egalitarian society. First is the augury. It refers to being able to predict events or catastrophes, the ability to interpret dreams, and the foreseeing the future and foreseeing the success. Next is the shamanism. It refers to a successfully healing disease individuals, possessions of supernatural spirits, application of medical plants, magical surgical techniques, application of magic for healing purposes, and manipulation of spirit of the world. Next is the ceremony. It refers to displaying ritual leadership or experience in completion of initiating ceremonies associated with puberty age, set requirements, ceremonies related to the situation or needs, or the ability to transfer ritual or ceremonial knowledge to everyone. Those are the ritual features of egalitarian society. So these are the personality features of egalitarian society. First is the self-control. It refers to maintaining reservation and control through tense situation and not displaying anger. By taking a peaceful approach to many situations and an active avoiding conflicts on others. Next is the aggressiveness. It refers to the ability to express opinion ideals vehemently when necessary. By being able to express this content without reservation, by being forceful in aggressiveness without others, and gaining respect through aggressiveness display. Next is the intelligence to being quick-witted and being able to make a good decisions on the spot. By being knowledgeable on the variety of subjects, displaying contextual knowledge or educational knowledge. And those are the personality features of egalitarian society. So here is the modern egalitarian theory. Modern egalitarianism or the new egalitarianism is a theory that rejects the classic definitions of egalitarianism as a possible achievement economically, politically, and socially. Modern egalitarianism theory outlines that if everyone had the same opportunity cost, then there would be no comparative advances and no one would gain from trading with each other. In the essence, the immense gain people receive from trading with each other arise because they are unequal in characteristic and in talent, and these differences may be innate or developed so that people can gain from trading with each other. And yes, that's the end of this lesson. Hope you guys enjoy and learn a lot from this lesson. Thank you for watching, everyone.